Today, our fight for survival begins.
Hello there, Seraph17 once again. This is my Extinction, Master Sentinel walkthrough. This is the 18th mission, it's called Bloodlust, and we have to protect civilians from elite jackals. So this is a ground-based level. We will not be killing any of the giants, and we will be taking on a new enemy, which is this guy. And the one thing that's interesting about this fellow is he has hyper armor. So you'll notice after I do the rune strike, I immediately roll away from him, because if I don't, he will do a melee attack and they do quite a lot of damage. This is a creature where you can combo him and it will make a difference. So after a rune strike, you can immediately go into a flurry of hits and then you can dodge away, and then you can rune strike in again, do a flurry of hits, and then do another rune strike and finish him off. But once again guys, for speed, for pure haste, the best way to kill them is just to spam the rune strike. And it's not the most interesting thing to watch, admittedly, but if you've made it this far with the game, you've obviously decided that the game's for you, and you're obviously okay with the idea of repeating the same thing ad nauseum, because that is what Extinction is. And whether or not if that's a good or a bad thing is kind of up to you. But this mission right now, I'm looking around here to see if there's anything to kill, and there's nothing to kill because the game wants me to move through the canyons, and then when you get through the canyons it will populate more enemies, but I wasn't quite aware of that, and this is a ticking clock scenario, so I need to kind of speed it up. Be careful of the thorns, once again they will kill you, but just know that you have to move this way for the next bunch of enemies to turn up, or the game just doesn't progress, because it wants you to come over here. And then over here, every crystal you approach will generally be met by one of these huge elite jackals, and then you can practice on messing around trying to launch him and things and doing whatever you want. But once again, this is easily the most effective... Oh, whew, that was close. Nearly knocked me into the thorns. The most effective way of getting rid of him. And now, we're going to do even more damage, so the next one we bump into should die in 3 of them, which is really good news, because this guy dies in 2, right? Is it 2? Yeah, he dies in 2. And you can tell when they die, guys, if you're wondering, because you will bounce away from them instead of moving towards them. If you continue going forwards after a hit, it means they're still alive. If you bounce backwards, it means they died. It's a wonderful piece of animation feedback to tell the player that they killed something, and additionally to give them the aerial momentum and advantage, which I think is great. You know, it's one of the great parts of this game. There's a few parts of this game that's got some really clever, fun stuff in it, and that's one of them. It's a very subtle thing, but it's cool. It conveys so much information to a player and enables them to continue using this very powerful ability. And at the moment you'll notice I'm not saving civilians too quickly, because you can save all the civilians and then finish the level and then you don't have the side objective, and it happens a lot. Additionally guys, when you're doing the big long missions like the Watchtower missions, if you ever get safe civilians, don't even bother, because you can get yourself into a situation where the Reveni will kill the civilians and there's only a finite number of them, and if they kill too many you physically cannot do the side mission. So in my humble opinion, you should never ever go for save civilians in the larger, you know, having to kill more than 3 or 4 or 5 Reveni at any given time, because you will have to focus on civilians, and when you're focusing on civilians you will not be able to focus on the creatures wrecking the cities. So it's really not an objective that complements the way you have to play at all, and I do not recommend it. But you can do it, I just don't recommend it. So I trust your judgment, as the lady talks my ear off with her like 3 lines of encouragement that she repeats quite often. The best part of this game is when you think she's dead because she doesn't chew your fucking ear off. And I know it sounds harsh, but I'm sorry guys. If there was an audio option to turn the voices off on this game, I would have done it because it was sending me loopy. I just wasn't enjoying it. And it's just because they don't say anything that interesting. They really don't. Then there's the 6 elite jackals, so now we can start saving civvies. And that's the end of the mission. So another very simple, very kind of like intermediary filler mission here. And once again, bringing up our favourite YouTuber and Twitch streamer extraordinaire, Mr. Darkside He's playing this. And I'll be very interested to see him play this game, because he has some very strong opinions, and he has some very particular issues with certain types of game. And this could isolate a lot of those and highlight them in a way that's perhaps not complimentary. So that could be really funny. But there you go, guys. There's all the missions. There's all the stars. Thank you for watching. You take care now.